5 seconds to go. Start. An agrarian country like India, where more than 50% population is dependent on agriculture as means of employment and sustenance, land plays a very important role. Land reform usually refers to equitable distribution of land between all the strata of society. Before independence, our agrarian society was governed by semi feudal principles. This society was broadly divided into four classes: the cultivating holders, the intermediaries, come cultivating holders, tenants at will, and agriculture laborers. The agriculture laborers were the unemployed, underemployed, and seasonal employed class of the agrarian society. Other classes constituted small and large landowners. These feudal structure of society led to the backwardness of society and sheer poverty among the rural masses, as land is the major source of wealth and social hierarchy. In the pre independence era, three types of land revenue system existed in India, namely Jamidari and Malwari. The Rayatwari system started in Madras in 1772. Under this system, the government had set responsibility of paying land revenue to the cultivator. In this system, no middleman existed. On the other hand, Jamidari system, which started in 1793 under Lord Cornwallis, was the most draconian one. It went on to create intermediaries between state and the cultivator, started in West Bengal and later on adopted in other states. The system remained till our independence. Landlords owned the land and rented them out to cultivators. However, the landlords never cultivated the land themselves but only collected revenue from the cultivators. The company fixed the revenue rate very high, which the jamidars extracted from the poor cultivators. Ultimately, the farmers suffered greatly. The revenue was fixed regardless of the harvest. It made rent collection as a perennial problem. Similarly, the third system was Rayatwari system, satisfied villages. This system mostly was in practice in western Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, etc. Here, the whole of village or mahal was responsible for payment of land revenue to the state. Therefore, the ownership of land was under a village body. The system was started by Lord William Bentinck. After independence, in order to get rid of the above rigidityness, a committee was set up under the championship of J.C. Kumarappa called as Agrarian Reforms Committee. It submitted its report in 1949 and became the main plank of land reform in our country. The committee suggested abolition of intermediaries, fixing land ceilings, holding redistribution of surplus land among the marginalized. However, the time lag between passing the law and its implementation allowed for finding loopholes in the legislation. Intermediaries continued to exist even after abolition of jamidari, as they made legal or illegal transfers of land in the names of their relatives without actually being the cultivator of the land. Agrarian reform also suggested for tendency reforms. It prohibited against any system of cultivation by tenants. The Planning Commission of India sums up the objectives of the land reform in two comprehensive steps. First, to remove the impediments which hinders the agricultural production. Second, to eliminate all elements of exploitation and social injustice within the agrarian system. It will provide security of the cultivator and assure equality of status and opportunity to all the sections of the rural population. The constitution makers also understood the importance of land. Therefore, land was made a fundamental right under Article 31. But due to innumerable cases in this regard, first constitutional amendment changed the provision and made land as a legal right. Some other notable efforts towards land reform in India are consolidated and consolidation of land holdings, Bhudan movement, and cooperative farming. Consolidation of land holding is aggregating of small fragments of land in an area and then purchasing it from the owner. Due to inheritance and land, the property gets smaller with passing generation. Therefore, to make agriculture viable, government restored to this technique. One of the most important events in the history of land reform is the Bhudan movement in 1951 that was started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave. He made an emotive appeal to reach landlords and approached almost 54.60 lakh acres of land. But this effort was not successful. Land donated were mostly not conducive for agriculture and only 25% were distributed. Similarly, cooperative farming was also promoted to solve the problem of subdivision and fragmentation of land holdings. However, in India, the concept failed miserably as people were not agreeing to part with their land for community welfare. After independence, land reforms program was started with great enthusiasm which was soon lost. The principal reasons behind this were lack of political will, absence of presume from the poor peasants, apathetic attitude of the bureaucracy, absence of up to date land records, etc. Some states like West Bengal and Kerala took steps to better the fate of the agriculture laborers by providing security of employment to them, ensuring promote payment of wages to the workers, and also by regulating the working hours. In the 11th 5-year plan, tenancy was legalized in a limited manner. It provided security to the tenant for the contractual period, which could be long enough to encourage long term investment by the tenant. Again, one of the main objectives of the 12th 5-year plan is to move Indian agriculture from a low productivity staple producing system to a rising productivity commercially oriented sector. Stop.